Hello everyone, myself Ruchi Patel, working as an assistant professor at LJ College of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to take second year topic that is ankle joint. In previous lecture, we have studied related to the brief idea of ankle and foot complex. In that, we have studied related to the tarsal bones, related to the metatarsal bone, and which all joints are present that we have seen. The different joint, that is the talocrural joint, subtalar joint, transverse tarsal joint, tarsometatarsal joint, metatarsophalangeal joint, and interphalangeal joints. Then we have studied related to different motion, dorsiflexion, plantarflexion, inversion, eversion, abduction, adduction, pronation, and supination motion. Then we have seen related to the ligaments and capsules, medial collateral ligament, lateral collateral ligament, and tibiofibular interosseous ligament. Then we have studied related to the kinematics. In the kinematics, for the joint of talocrural joint, as we all know, it has a 1 degree of freedom. So that we have seen the movement which is possible, that is the dorsiflexion and plantarflexion motion. Talocrural joint or ankle joint, which is made up of the mainly the proximal and distal articulating surfaces of tibiofibula and talus respectively. So the tibia and fibula which have a concave surface, whereas the talus which contains the convex surface. Then the normal 1 degree of motion, that is dorsiflexion and plantarflexion. Normal range is 0 to 20 degree dorsiflexion, 0 to 50 degree plantarflexion motions are present. So today we are going to see about the arthrokinematics. As we all know, whenever we talk about the arthrokinematics, it includes uh, the motion which occurs in the joint surfaces. That is the rolling, sliding, or spinning type of motion. And whenever we talk about the arthrokinematics, we have to consider the concave convex rule. So, as we all know, whenever the convex surface is moving on the concave surface, the rolling and sliding will be in the opposite direction. Whereas, whenever the concave surface is moving on the convex surface, rolling and sliding will be in the same direction. And it is considered based on the concave convex rule, right? So for the talocrural joint, as we all know, the proximal articulating surface, that is the tibiofibula, which has a concave surface, and the talus has a convex surface. Whenever we do non-weight bearing dorsiflexion and plantarflexion, then the talus will move on the tibia and fibula, and this time rolling and sliding both will be in the opposite direction. Whereas most of the activities of the daily living, or in the most of the time, we give weight on our both the lower extremity. So it's a motion where talus will be fixed and distal proximal part of the tibiofibula, uh, that is the proximal part of the ankle joint, that is the tibia and fibula's distal part, will get uh, this motion. Okay, so during the this type of motion, that is the tibia and fibula, if it is moving on the talus, that time the concave surface is moving on the convex, so rolling and sliding both will be in the same direction. So here this white arrow is indicating the rolling and sliding motion direction. So here they have given the non-weight bearing motion. So here we can see the rolling during the dorsiflexion, rolling is in the anterior direction, whereas sliding is in the posterior direction. Whereas in the case of plantar flexion, the opposite motion will occur. Here, the sliding will be in the upward direction, or we can say in the forward direction, whereas rolling is in the backward direction. Okay, so Today, another point which we have to discuss, that is the functional consideration. So in this, we'll see related to the most and least stable position of the talocrural joint and most and least unstable position of the talocrural joint. So while walking, the normal dorsiflexion motion and plantar flexion motion is occurring, right? So during the, especially the last phase of the stance phase, or the last period, which includes into the stance phase. During this, or we can say that before going for the hill off, the our tibia is moving on the surface, that is on the talus, and during this motion we can say the talus surface will get locked into the mortise. So it will get locked into the mortise, and along with these bony structures, muscles and ligaments also help to uh, control this position, or to maintain, or to help for the maintenance of this position. So as we can say, this position will be the stable, most stable position, because the talus will get locked into the mortise, and here other structures are also supporting for this position. So it is called as the most stable position. So, and another word we can say, it's a closed pack position. Okay, and here you all can see the tibia and fibula is moving on the talus. It will get locked into the mortise. The talus will get locked into the mortise, and it provides the most stable position. So least stable position, we can say it is the plantar flex position, because here the talus is moving away from the mortise, and there is a less connection between the tibiofibula and mortise, and along with that there is a less support of the ligaments and the muscles to maintain this position. So as a result, whenever we walk with the high heels sandal, that time this excessive plantar flexion motion is occurring, and here the less ligament support is also available. So as a result, there are the more chances for the ankle sprain or ankle to get in the twisted position. Okay, so which all structures are responsible for the ankle dorsiflexion and plantar flexion range of motion? So it is mainly limited by the soft tissue restriction, active or passive tension in the triceps surae, that is the gastrocnemius and soleus muscle, are primary limitations of the dorsiflexion. Typically, less ankle dorsiflexion range of motion is seen with the knee extended position compared to the knee flexed position. As we all know, the gastrocnemius muscle has to get lengthened over the two joints, so that won't provide that much of sufficient force, and we can say another word that goes for the passive insufficiency, right? So the ankle dorsiflexion, which is limited by the soleus and the posterior or with the talocrural joint capsule, posterior talocrural joint capsules, when the knee joint is in the flexed position. Okay, so uh, along with this, the ligament, medial and lateral collateral ligament of the ankle joint, are under the constant tension during the dorsiflexion and plantar flexion motion. So the important function of the collateral ligament appears to be the minimize the side to side rotation or we can say side to side movement of the mortise on the talus. So ligaments are assist in the function of the muscle that passes either side of the ankle joint. So along with the ligament, the muscles are also responsible to provide the stable surface. Okay, so the TBR is posterior, flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum muscle longus. This all muscles will protect the medial side of the ankle, whereas the peroneus longus, peroneus brevis muscle protect the lateral aspect of the joint. Okay, so this is all about the talocrural joint. Okay, for the further detail, you all can refer the joint structure and function by Cynthia Norkin. Thank you.